Hey everybody, Jeff Auberger here with you again. What we're looking at the moment is the way the ledger board is fastened to the wall. This ledger board is going to hold our floor system. You can see at this edge of the house the ledger board has been installed. 2 J-bolts located 16 inches on center to manage the bearing and support of the floor system. We're getting ready to install it in this area here. You can see these holes that are cut through the foam. The purpose of that is to allow for those J-bolts to enter into the core area of the form, be surrounded with concrete, and also to support that ledger board so that it can't tip as it supports the weight of the floor system. We've got one of those ledger boards here that hasn't yet been installed, and what you'll see as you look at the back side of this is how these J-bolts stick out the back side of the block. This is one of our ledger boards here before it's been installed. You can see the holes have been drilled through. These J-bolts stick through and anchor into the concrete to hold that ledger board in place. If we make our way around to the other side of that, you can see how those nuts and washers are on the back side. Ultimately, once installed and poured, we'll go back through and tighten those nuts so that the ledger is properly anchored and fastened to the wall. Just got done talking about the main ledger boards, which are the bearing points for the floor system. This is going to support our second floor. As we look to the side walls of the home, these are our non-bearing areas of the house. In this area you'll see we've got a 2x6 ledger installed in a similar fashion, not requiring nearly as many anchoring bolts and not needing to be nearly as tall as on those bearing ends. As we look to this end, you'll see we use a 2x12 at the bearing end of the floor system, and on the non-bearing side of the floor system we're using a 2x6. Again, installed in the same fashion, holes cut out behind to allow that concrete to pour in behind that ledger, and then bolts, in this case, 1 bolt at 48 inches on center. Jeff Auberger again here with you folks from Preservation Homes. At the moment we're looking at a beam that is going to support our second floor ICF wall structure. You can see on our first floor we've got a bumped out area that creates the dinette area of the home. And what we've done here is created a beam which is not only going to support our floor system, but it's also going to support the second floor ICF walls. As we talked earlier, we're going to be installing a ledger across this area next to support the floor system. Ultimately, this concrete beam area, once we pour the second floor walls, will be approximately 4 foot 6 inches in height, and with the rebar that's installed through the area will act as the structural member to carry the load of the second floor walls, the load of our roof system, and of course the load of our second floor system. You can see it's supported underneath. Ultimately our drywall will go right underneath that beam and carry through as a flat ceiling into the dinette area. Thanks for being with us.